Wow, wow, wow. Hello and good morning. It is so good to see you. Good morning from this part of the world. It is 7:31 Tuesday, October 5th, and I am very, very excited to be here today. I'm like a little girl. I'm giddy, and you're going to find out why in a few minutes. Before we go on, my name is Zoe Baraka. The show is To My Younger Self. As always, thank you for investing your time in us. Thank you for being our friend. And thank you for showing up all the time just to hang with us. We're going to do a few greetings like we always do on To My Younger Self. Are you watching us from Burkina Faso? I say Bella to you, Ibiokibari to you, Burkina Faso and all other northern parts of the continent of Africa. They speak a language called Hausa. Baraka da Zua to you if you speak Hausa. Sanunku da Zua if you speak Hausa. Listen, do you speak Kasal? Do you speak Mamprushi or Mampruli? Ya ken, Toma Toma. Fudua wela, Toma anwela. Tepose wenam baraka. Ni zam to you. Is it evening where you are? I greet you, I greet you. La awane, the Frafres will say. Ansuma, the Wallace will say. Ansuma, Hogange song. That is what the Dagaris will say. It means good morning. Did you sleep well? Dasuba, the Dagombas will say. And Dinawo, Wezo, all of these, the people of the Volta land of Ghana will greet you in that. Oje ko to you if you speak Ga from the Ga people of Ghana. Ekabo, the Yorubas will say. Nabato, the Igbos will say. Eteseng. Akwaba. We want to den watching all these different variations of the Akan, of the Fanti, of the Chi. All I'm saying is, how are you? Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Karibu, habari gani, habari yasubwe to you. If you are in the southern parts of Africa or the eastern parts of Africa, if you are in Kenya, Oyawore, the Luo people of Kenya will say, Manga wanani, the Shona people of Zimbabwe will say, hey, Nagadef to you. Do you speak Wolof and are you from Senegal? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Merembe, Oveye indeed. This is also another variation of the people of Kenya. Inyasi, Aloy Damilaki, do you speak Bisa? I am greeting you, I am greeting you, I am greeting you. Akaya to you, now mine to you. Awana, the Mendes will say. Welena, the Hawaiians will say. Dumela to you if you speak Soto from the Soto Kingdom of South Africa. Kotoli to you. Do you speak Fulani? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Where are you watching us in the world? I want to see you. I want to hear from you. Speak to me, greet me, speak to me. I'm very excited today and I want to go right into it. As always, we set it up for you, right? Let me tell you what happened a couple of weeks ago. The world, indeed, let me set it up. Ghana, and then West Africa, and then the continent of Africa, and the world indeed was at a standstill for a few hours when this young man suddenly burst into the world stage with powerful stories to share. Mr. Paul Ninson. I was just scrolling through my timeline. One of my producers, Elsie Dixon, who lives in Canada, she was very, very excited. She says, oh my God, the story is so good. It was part one. And I read it and I said, wow, who is this? And of course, we were at the edge of our seats, right? And then part two came out. Normally with Humans of New York stories, you might get up to part 5. I've never seen it go as far as part 12. And when 12 of 12 hit, the whole world kind of cheered and said, yes. And he said one of his dreams was to open up a photo center that will teach young people and people from all walks of life. One person I know made a prophecy and said, I see where this is going. And within a span of 24 hours, humanity showed its goodness. The whole entire world just rose up and boom, his dream was a reality because we all needed to see him succeed. Now, I'll tell you why he needed to succeed. Intrinsically, this man is a good man. So anyway, the moment everything happened, my producer, Elsie, she says, it would be good to get, Mr. Paul Ninson on the show. I said, yeah, but we don't know anyone who knows him. I heard in my spirit, yes, you do. You know the Holy Spirit, and he knows Paul. I kind of brushed it off. I said, all right, Holy Spirit, do what you will do. I'm okay with it. But then we reached out to somebody who said, well, Paul is very quiet and he doesn't like to make public appearances, yada, yada. We said, okay, and we moved on. 2 weeks down the line, another producer of mine in Ghana, Yida Nakobigbila, he reaches out and he says, yo, I just heard Mr. Ninson speak on, I think it was either TV and radio, and we must have him on your show. It just has to happen. We must have him on our show. I said, okay, but we don't know anyone who knows him. He said, I heard him say that he responds to most emails. I said, sure. We drafted an email. We said, hey, Paul, yada, yada. And all I did was hit him up on Facebook. There was no pump about it, no pigeonry about it. Let me tell you, when I sent that email, I fully expected to hear from Mr. Ninson maybe a month from now. In 30 minutes, this young man had responded. He was nice, and he spoke to me like he had known me for ages. That's what the Holy Spirit will do, but also it speaks to the integrity and the character of this man. As you can see, I am gushing, and from then on, his emails have been responsive. He's been on the ball the whole time. Let me introduce you to this fantastic, amazing young man. Paul Ninson is a photographer and filmmaker born in Kumasi, Ghana, but currently he lives in New York. He has a degree from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Industrial Art. He started his photography career 4 years ago as a medium of expression and to solve problems. Paul Ninson studied documentary practice and visual journalism at School of International Center of Photography in New York, where he was awarded the Director's Fellowship and the George Moss Merit Scholarship. Paul has a dream to build the largest photography library and learning center in Africa. He calls it Dikan, meaning take the lead or move forward. The Hebrews will say kadim or kadima, move forward, follow suit, proceed. So far, Paul has collected over 30,000 books and has raised over 1 million to support the project. Guys, as we always do unto my younger self, please, please, please help me unhook. Let us invite this amazing, fantastic young man, Mr. Paul Ninson. Hello. Woo, it is so good to see you, sir.
Oh, so good to see you. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. We are so honored by your presence. Please, please, as always, the floor is yours.
First of all, I want to thank you and some group of people in Ghana and my friends and Nana Amwa, LC, and all Facebook friends who have been there for me from day one and how far we've come this morning. I'm grateful. I never knew that Elsie was behind the scenes engineering things.
Oh, she is one of our top of the line producers. Yes.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh, wow. My younger self. Yesterday, I was thinking about it and I was walking through a lot of emotions. If I knew that all the life experience will bring me to where I am today, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't change a thing. If I'm supposed to go back today, I'll still remain the same. I grew up in Kumasi. I was born in Bokrom Estate, and we moved to Obuaka after Yasantwa Secondary School. So we lived there my childhood. We had a big compound, we had a house, and my dad was into farming, so we had a farm around it. So we had sheep, goats, all that, and we didn't have electricity. So first 15 years of my life, we didn't have electricity, we didn't have television. And I think that shaped me a lot in a lot of ways, which today I call it my sources and influence. My dad is a stand reader. He's a Christian. So that means that, you know what it means. It means that we get to read the Bible, we get to read the books, and you have to explain to him. He will go through the Bible readings, church after church meetings, everything. And sometimes I go with him for gospel preaching because he had a Bible which was called Gold Bar. And
Oh, wow.
because the Bible was very precious, so we nicknamed it Gold Bar. So it was my responsibility to hold the Gold Bar. And when we go for gospel preaching, I will sit by my dad, and he asks me, and I have to bring up the verses. So reading was a huge thing in the house, and I think I looked like my dad, just that I'm taller than him. Everybody, whenever you see my dad, whenever you see me, you see my dad. So we were very close, tight. The expectation was not much. I think all he expected of me was to be a good person, to be a good Christian, and to read the Bible and to be very conversant with the Bible. So I think that changed my life a lot in terms of reading. Even today, I read 50 books a year.
What?
I just read. I can't stop.
Say that again. You read one book every week?
Yes. Sometimes
Wow.
I can go blank and just invest myself in reading, and I will read more than 2 books a week. I just can't stop. I think it's one of my default things.
Where's Elsie in this whole equation? And I thought she read. Did you hear this? I think we have a winner. You and I don't come close.
But now I don't know if I can continue the 50 books because my responsibility is becoming more and more for the past 1 month. I've not been able to read much, and and I think that is going to reduce as time goes on. But for me, that was where the reading comes from. That's where I got it from my dad, who has been someone who constantly tells me, you have to be, you have to read, you have to know. My dad and I, it was more of intellectual conversations all the time. Sometimes even with concerning the Bible, even now that I'm older, I will go back and say, no, I think you got it wrong. Your interpretation of this wasn't, and he respects my opinion. He respects me when I bring these things up.
Right.
And I think not having television in the house helped me a lot. Today, I cannot watch a full movie because I will skip through. I'll skim through, to get to the bottom of it or the storyline, unless maybe probably when I'm doing documentary, maybe I want to walk through and see camera angles, how to see storylines, and I'll sit through. Other than that, I cannot watch a drama. Unless it's an action for me to maybe probably think through something.
Like you have Rambo and
yes,
Schwarzenegger in there.
Yes, because I think, not having television, not having all these things outside was helpful for me in a lot of ways that today I look back and I'm grateful that those things in my life happened. And even today, when I dip deep into my sources and influence, I realized that my grandfather is a royal from Kumawu.
Wow.
And my grandmother is from Bodomasi. So both, Kumawu, Bodomasi. And when I was a kid, we didn't have television. So when he comes around, we sit around the bonfire and he'll be telling me stories about Kumawu and the festivals. So when I became a photographer, I think that was my influence that I did not realize. So if you look at my work today, most of my works are related to culture, related to Africa. And that is most of the times the stories which he used to tell me when I was a kid, and always made me feel important that I come from a place.
Wow.
So all the time,
feel like they say, home is home.
Yes, and so my dad, the two men in my life was my grandfather and my dad. Whilst my dad was teaching me the word of God, and my first book was Lady's Bed. from London. You know those books called, yeah, there's a book called Lady's Bed.
Lady's Bird. I remember those. It was like they had a hardcover.
Yep.
Yes.
I
Oh,
had
wow.
I had part 1, part 2, part 3, and I had one set which was about traveling, you know, other side of the world, you know. So that is my introduction to the world and introduction to the books, and it really influenced me today. In the beginning, we thought my siblings, we thought my dad was annoying. You know, it's like he's Fancy. He's from Fancy Central region, and
Right.
you know them.
They're very breathalyzed.
Yes,
You
and
know,
very
they probably
strict.
drink tea in the afternoon. We call it 11s.
And he was very strict, very strict. And I think that has helped me a lot. Today, you know, being in New York, there are a lot of things I will never do. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's something which I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've never been in a bar. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I just can't do it because it's something which I've been, you know, my childhood, that younger self has been trained not to do certain things. So today, that has been.
Let's backtrack a bit. You've never been in a bar, not even for a club soda, which is literally just water.
No, I've not.
Huh.
No.
I've
not been. No, okay. I've not been in a bar. Maybe a restaurant with a bar. Maybe, I don't know, but I've not. Oh, it's just like I just don't have any business to do that. You know, so that upbringing has kept me on the road. And you know, New York, where everything free range. If you love football, you come to New York, you have 15 times of it. Yes. And I think that life of being in a Buakwa in that circle has helped me today, influenced a lot of things I do today.
Wow.
So my second story is when we were growing up, we had a farm. And my dad would always say, I was the one in charge of the farm, even when I was little.
Wow.
We had farmers, we had people who were taking care of the farm, but my responsibility to make sure that everyone was doing their job. So sometimes my classmates used to make a lot of fun with me. So when I was going to school, I'll have a sack in my bag, and I'll drop it off at where the fufu joint, and I'll leave it there, so that the farmers will come and pack the peel of cassava for the goats and the sheep.
Wow.
So every time, and I loved it. It was one of my best things because the sense of responsibility, that was where it was coming from.
How old were you at this point?
I think maybe probably 10, 11, 12, 15.
Oh my Lord.
And
you loved doing that?
I loved it. I think today, maybe probably in the near future, I will own a farm. I'll start a farm because I think I miss those memories, childhood memories of being responsible for something and, you know, making sure that the pen coop, everything is done. And when it's destroyed, my dad and I will build it back. So growing up, I wanted to be an architect, you know, so that was my trajectory. I used to draw a lot. I draw every time, you know, then that was my trajectory of being an architect, but I think it didn't happen, but I'm fine with where I am today.
Exactly. So, wow.
Yes, so my dad was kind of, every time there's a complaint, and he will be like, you have to solve it, that complaining. There was no room for complaining in the house. You know, there was no room. Either you solve it or you find a way to at least do something about it. And that was my younger self, how things, you know, helped me today to always solve a problem. Wow. And my mother on the other side, you know, traditionally, my grandfather will come, and my grandfather is a typical, Asante people forgive me, typical, some traditional man who in his head, this is a woman's job, this is a man's job, you know. So my mother would rather say that if a man cooks, it gets ready. If a woman cooks, it gets ready. So there's no gender responsibility in her house.
Yes.
So, and also I have two sisters. So I didn't understand why my sisters were there and I would be sweeping. So I used to complain a lot about it.
Oh my God.
And every time I complained, the work increased. So I started from cleaning my bedroom to the veranda, to the court, and then ended up in the kitchen, then ended up in my parents' bedroom, cleaning, ended up in the bathroom, and after I grew up to a certain level, I gave up, and that is how today I know how to cook.
Wow.
Today I love cooking, and I love my mother, because then my mother and we became very close. Though she didn't know what she was doing, but I think what she did was today affected me, even how I relate with my daughter.
Wow.
Because I ask my mother all the time, like my daughter asks my mother whether she's a feminist, and my mother says she doesn't understand what that means. What she understands is that I think it's fair for everybody to have a sense of responsibility and not be attached to something else. And my mother is not educated, by the way.
Wow.
So I sometimes wonder how she had those mentality, and that is how.
Fascinating though, because I feel like we have in this day and age placed so much emphasis on, I guess, book smartness, as opposed to what I call spiritual intelligence or intuitive intelligence. Most of us were trained by people who never really sat in a classroom, but there was an intuitive intelligence that told her that there is no gender. If you have to learn how to do it, you just have to.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And my mother, I think every time we joke around that my mother would have been a diplomat if she had gone to school. She sells clothes, secondhand clothes in Kumasi Market, full slide, and that's what she's done all her life. But the way she handles things in the house, I'm very into my mother, by the way. So,
yes, that's good.
and she knows how to share the love across all the kids.
Wow.
And she knows how to diffuse situations. She will listen all the time, and then she will again, package it well for another person and not be able to crush the two heads in the house. And I think that is what has helped me today in a lot of things. Even last week, we were drafting policy concerning Dikan, which is the foundation. And, these moments of my mother telling me, when a woman cooks, it gets ready. When a man cooks, it gets ready. So all these things affected me in a way of how we're going to run the center in terms of giving opportunity to women, giving opportunity to younger kids, So all these things, I think today, that younger self of mine going through that experience, trust me, it wasn't a fun experience, because to me, my mother was annoying. My dad was annoying as a young kid.
Who are you telling?
Yes. So today, look back and I walk through the memories and all those younger experiences, and I realized that, all those things shaped me today. So it is not just last week, but these things have been things which has been embedded in me for longer years.
Years and years. Yeah. Wow. Guys, I'm so excited you guys are here. I see all of you. Let me take a breather and let Paul breathe a little bit while I greet all of you. I see you. I see you. Of course, as producer Elsie, I see you. Producer Yidana, who also in part was played a very big role in having Paul here. I see you too. Sadinam, producer also all the way in Ohio. I see you. I know she's going to be on me and say, why did I tell people where she lives? CIA. I see you. I see you. Beverly Ross watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for going on the YouTube channel and subscribing. Siska, I see you. Thank you so much. Abby Coleman, Minstrel Abby, I see you. I see you. Abinay Jewa, this woman is a fantastic entrepreneur. I see you. I see you. I see all of your comments, a few funny ones. Oh my God, my cousin's wife, Alyssa, I see you. But I think Paul was saying 50 books a year. But if he could read 50 books a week, I'm sure he would have. He would. Yidana says we have to organize a cultural shoot in a bar for Paul. I will take lead in this since I am closer to him geographically speaking. I think we have to set it up. Paul, let's go to a bar and we're going to teach him how to order a club soda. We're not going to go too far. He doesn't need, or Muscatello, or maybe Coke, you know. Yeah, we'll do that for him. Yidana says, no TV at home. I can relate, Pa. Being responsible for the farm, I can relate even more, Pa. These seemingly childhood lacks in quote have proven to be the driving force for the passion we have developed as adults and the character we have managed to build. And I think that's the essential message Paul is saying, that all these things he had to go through as a child, indeed all of us, especially if you lived in Africa, we all thought, oh my God, whatever we saw other kids in other continents was the best thing and we wanted that. Now we're older and we're saying, I got the best deal of all because I can live anywhere in the world, literally can live anywhere in the world. Because is it lack? Is it that I don't have money for internet? I still can survive. I can decide not to watch TV. It does not affect my psyche and things like that. So yes. Sadi again, she says, good morning, my neighbors. Good morning to you too. I will not say what Eddie Murphy said in that movie. Yes. Elsie says, your mom is gold. Jane, thank you so much. Good afternoon to you. Francisca Addo, I know, right? Wow. So many comments coming in and I'm trying to sample them. Zoe Baraka and TMYS team, thank you for managing to bring a whole new side to Paul. Yes, because nobody knew that he did not go to a bar. I have listened to him on many networks here in Ghana and read his story on Humans of New York. This Paul on TMYS is the ordinary human being everyone can relate to. His humility flows through. Thank you, Paul, for sharing you with us. Okay, I think we're done. Let's all go home. He closed the show. Antoinette from the Windy City, Chi-Town. Thank you. Hello to you, my dear sister. All right, Paul, over to you again. We're done greeting.
Thank you. Okay. So today, sometimes when I look back at those childhood memories of how I was brought up, all the circumstances surrounding it, and today, sometimes I can boldly talk about them. That's what Humans of New York does. He lifts a veil and he makes you be able to comfortably talk about certain things. And
I saw that, right? I knew that was going to get you a little bit. She wants more stories, so let's go.
So I think those are some of the things I look back and I realize that they affected me in what I'm doing today. And again, in my house, I was the most competitive one. I have a senior brother.
Really?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I have a senior brother, and my senior brother is very calm, more than me, and
There's someone calmer than you?
Yes, he is.
Can we meet him? Oh my God.
He is. I am very active more than him.
Wow.
And even in academics, I always wanted to be him in school, like always, reading books, working. So it was this bit of competition between us, even when we were kids. And it was always trying to be him in a lot of things. And unfortunately for him, he was asthmatic. So he cannot work the same way I do work. So sometimes the way the work was shared was like Paul gets a bigger portion. And every time they used to think that I was going to be a lawyer because I was very principled. I was very competitive. I will always be upfront and straightforward with you. I will, blast you when if something annoys me or something.
Can you try blasting someone? Try, because I'm trying to figure out how you do it with that calmness.
unless you ask my team members. because For me, I am, because of I am very disciplined, because when I want to do something, I'm so determined. I sacrifice a lot to get that. And, and the third, and maybe probably, okay, let me do the third one. Maybe it might be a fourth one, was when I became a father. Again, in school, I was a leader. Last week, my daughter asked me, was saying that, Daddy, I think my classmate, the class captain, is not doing a good job, and she wants to be the class captain. And my heart skipped because I realized that she wanted to take the same path
As you.
as me, and I don't know and not sure if I wanted to take that path.
Oh my God.
So I have not answered her question yet. Because when I was I became a school prefect, and I became a class captain in class 2, class 3, class 6, and became a school prefect in class 6, and in JSS. And in Kumaka, I became a school prefect. And in Kumaka, I became children's rights president, regional president, SRC. I was involved. So club and society in KUST, I was a computer club president. I was, name it, I was a leader. So when I became a father, then it hit me because I didn't want my daughter to be in the public domain or to be used for political purposes. So that is when I decided to take a step back from continuing to be upfront leader where my whole life will be out there. So today, a lot of people do not know much because I'm very private, and I've protected that, my daughter, and also I'm a very private person. I don't talk about most of my personal things, and it changed as time went on. So when I was in school, when I became a father, everything changed. My whole trajectory of what I wanted to become changed. Because all of us will know when you become a parent, your whole life, like the way you think, change. And that incident, my first girlfriend got pregnant. So then that sense of responsibility from my dad, because I saw my dad being responsible in the house, very respectful. My dad was always respectful to my mom. I never saw any kind of bad behavior of a husband. Maybe I'm the worst of him.
I doubt that, but wow.
Yes, so then I became a father. Then all these childhood responsibilities it's like, how do I become a father? How do I go on? Then my mother became a solid figure to me. Then my mother became everything I've ever wished for.
Wow.
So she was supportive. And in the beginning, I'll be honest with you, this ego man masculinity was kind of like always complaining about how I was being treated by their family and all that. And my mother will always come in and say, "Shut up, you are not carrying the baby."
She is.
It's like, she is. So you shut up and you do what you need to do. He's like, if you are carrying the baby for 9 months, then okay, we will have this conversation. But since you are not carrying the baby for 9 months, shut up.
God bless her.
So every time she's like, you didn't carry the baby for 9 months. You didn't carry the baby for 9 months.
To answer your daughter's question, she is a feminist, just in a very different, in a class all by herself, a fair feminist, someone who doesn't just become a feminist just because she's a woman.
Yes.
But a feminist in the sense that she knows right from wrong and knows where a man stands and what he should do, and where a woman stands and what she should do given the situation. TMYS, we tip our hats off to your mother. I'm sure producer Elsie's typing right now going, yes, yes. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's helped me to become a better father.
Wow.
Because if I had continued to be better about a lot of things, I would not be where I am today, where my daughter is 11 years old and we have the best of life, at this point in moment in time, is that my mother was the one. I would not say I was all perfect, everything was right. It was my mother behind the scenes, advising me and saying that, no, you didn't carry the baby. So that statement resonate with me for a long time. She
Wow.
said, "You didn't carry the baby for 9 months. Shut up. You didn't carry the baby." So every time I'm like, I did not carry the baby for 9 months. I have to. I was not. I have to be respectful. Even though she might be very mean to me, I have to be
Whatever it
respectful.
is, yes.
I have to, and even to today, we have we have best of relationship. Both of us co-parenting, taking care of our daughter, and I respect her. Sometimes it's not smooth all the time, but I've been supportive to her. I've been always doing my possible best to do what I can, because one, she sacrificed her life, and what I did was to take care of. So even today, sometimes I look back and I'm like, she did well. I'm grateful for what she did, and she is a private person as well, so she couldn't be part of the story. But
that's okay.
What's my point is, all that happened to me in life today has brought me where I am today. If I had not become a father, I don't think that I would have been so determined and so thoughtful with what I wanted to do. So that led me to become a photographer, because I was striving to make money. And I felt that photography was a time to spend with my daughter I've lost, and then to make money, and then to travel. So it all matched up together, and striving to become a photographer. All things. And actually, that is my mom's favorite verse.
Wow.
I
did not know that, but wow.
That is her favorite verse every time. She's very important to me, and I pray to God that God keep her. Because that's all I have left.
That's all. Yes, that little like just told the whole story. Now I want you to give us a story that led, because everybody knows Paul Ninson as a photographer and somebody that I believe you're Destiny's child, because there's some people, no matter how much they try to stay away from the spotlight, Destiny has a way of just propelling them into the spotlight. You look like the person that they put light on you, and you kept saying, just no, no, and the light just kept shining even more. That in itself is a message. And you've gone through all these things that you're sharing with us to my younger self. No one really knows you as a documentarian or a documentary filmmaker. Now, this is where our paths cross, because I trained as a documentary filmmaker. So I'm really psyched to hear how you got onto that stage and what you're doing now. You can share a story or two about that. That would be very fantastic.
Okay, thank you so much. I think, again, I go back to my sources and influence. My grandfather. The stories he was telling me about my hometown, Chuuuuu, and so those stories as a child. So today, my advice to the parents out there: be very careful, or not be careful, be careful, strategic what you impart in the kids, because it will be their sources of influence. It will be sources of their influence. So that is what my grandfather did. May his soul rest in peace. I wish he was alive to see what he did. And that is where the documentary came from. That is where the story, because my grandfather told me oral stories about Chuuuuu. My uncle currently is the Chuuuuu chief. My grandmother is the Chuuuuu queen mother. And it was hard to visualize them. So for me, it was that kind of, how can't I picture it? How can't I? So growing up, it was a lingering, which I did not realize it till later part when I started digging deep into my sources of influence. So when I became a photographer 4 years ago, actually professionally, I've been a photographer for 3 years. In the 3 years, I've been in school for 1 year. So I have not been in the game for much long. But
this is amazing. But then, can I just break your tracks a bit and say, I feel like you were born to be a photographer. And so you probably, again, I'm always saying that when God puts purpose in a person, you don't need much schooling to get it. It's something that you're born with. It's an innate thing. And so I think you've been a photographer for however long, however old you are. If you're 30 years old, you have been a photographer for 30 years. Wow.
I think even with that, it's like when you say that, my mom constantly tells me all things work together for good every morning. Oh my goodness, all things work together for good. All things work together for
I
good
hear the frustration there.
every morning. Because imagine going to your mother and complaining to her, and she's saying all things to her. It's like I've been hearing this all my life, mom. So today that I am where I am is emotional for me, but also when I think about all the things my mom told me, your story has not ended, all the frustration, all the sadness, everything. And it's like today I'm in a position, you have no idea. I take this responsibility seriously. Why? Because today I'm in a position, a privileged place to help someone. And that is all I care. Like, because I come from a poor background. And as much as my heart is good towards people, as much as I care towards people, as much as I love people, as much as that, not to have that ability to help someone while being frustrating enough for me. So today, Brandon, with the gift Brandon has given to me is the ability to help someone. And he knows that same ability he had to be able to help someone. And today, that is where I am. And moving forward, I'm constantly making decisions and constantly thinking about how do I help someone in the meetings I'm doing, all the things I'm doing. How do I help someone? How do I help someone? How do I use my privilege not to suppress someone, but to help someone? And that is the point where today I am in trajectory going forward. So being a documentarian, my daughter, for example, I have so many pictures of my daughter. So many pictures. I didn't have an iPhone when she was born. Her mother, they come from a good family, so they had iPad and other things, and I constantly was taking pictures with that. And that is where actually it started more so of keeping records of her and having those moments together with her. And so when I wanted to be a photographer, I wasn't just wedding. I was constantly searching for something which was more than wedding, which was more than event, to be able to fulfill those needs, those influences I had. And I wasn't satisfied with wedding. I wasn't satisfied with event. But my trajectory was always to do documentary, tell stories, deeper stories about Ghana, about Africa, which was not being told. When I was growing up, they did not see them. So those frustration of trying to buy a camera, those frustration of trying to get into schools, it was all because I was so determined that I wanted to get to where I wanted to be. And for me, Paul Ninson, even last night, I went for a walk, and people are still doubting me. They are still doubting whether I'll be able to do this. And I'm in my head, I'm like, you don't know me. You don't know. You don't know. The more you doubt me, the more I'm going to do this. Because the rejection from being wanting to be a documentary photographer and a filmmaker was that I wrote it on my wall in my bathroom, and I always remember it. Dear gatekeepers, continue to keep the gate. I'll one day build and open the door for others. And for me, it has.
Please, can you repeat that? So because I think everyone on the platform will want to put this on their bathroom mirror or something. We're gonna start a hashtag, Dear Gatekeepers. But please say that again.
Wow. So again, how I motivate myself is that I re-engineer all the pain, all the struggle to be something good. So what I say is that, dear gatekeepers, continue to keep the gate. One day I'll build and open the door for other people. Whew. For me, it was like not breaking the barrier of just breaking the ceiling. I'm going to build the whole system all together again and open it so that there will be no gatekeepers again. And I'm not a gatekeeper. I will never be a gatekeeper. Even Dikan, at some point, I'll step away so that I'm building a system, with or without me, a system that will empower storytelling in Africa, a system that will keep going, and not a system where it's just me, Paul Ninson. One day I will not be here just talking, there will be somebody else, because that is what we need to do. That is what we all need to do, to be able to lift someone up, not just being the gatekeeper, standing by the gate, where it's like everybody, So for me, how do I build a system? It's very difficult. I'll be honest with you. What we're building is different. It's not something which is common. Yes, it's not common, because sometimes when I go to a meeting, people ask me, what do we do for you? And I'm like, no, it's not about me. There's more Paul Ninsons in Ghana. There's more Paul Ninsons in Kenya. There's more Paul Ninsons in Nairobi and Senegal. So what can we do for them? Not what can you do for me? And most people are struggling right now when I'm in those meetings, because over the years, they've empowered a star. And there's so many stars with little followers. If you're in Ghana and you're a top photographer, top over what? Award-winning photographer. Okay, over what? How many Ghanaians are award-winning photographers? How many people are top photographers in Ghana? So you are on what phone? You are in, what gate are you keeping? When there's so many people in Ghana who are struggling to be photographers, who are trying to figure out to be photographers. So today is not just my story; it's a story of most people who have. So in this conversation I'm having with you, I'm representing a lot of people.
A lot of Paul Ninsons, a lot of photographers, and a lot of filmmakers, and a lot of creatives and business people. And at this point, I'm tempted to say a lot of preachers and teachers, because I think the entire audience just saw, please correct me if I'm wrong, guys, we just saw the argumentative Paul Ninson a little bit. He just came out a little bit to play, and I think I want to give him a name, Lawyer Paul or something. Wow.
Yeah, because so anytime you are in a space, you realize that this is a space which is not just for you. So what you say matters a lot. What you do matters a lot. So for me, that is the space I am. And every time is a constant reminder that what I'm doing is for other people, not just for me and my family members, not just for me and my gratification, and I think that is where I want to motivate a lot of people. Even the name of the center is called Dikan, and Dikan means take the lead in terms of trying to get people to take the lead in a lot of ways that we've never seen before. So today I'm a photographer and a filmmaker, and I'm with a vision. And I'm trying as much as possible best to build. And what is coming is going to be huge. Like for me, people don't know what is coming. And I
don't want to know. We want to be side smacked and blindsided, and just like somersaulted into what is about to come. I'm shaking because, these are things, almost everyone will say, we've heard these things before, but it's more poignant when it comes from a person who has the ability to be about themselves and has decided, I don't want to be about myself. I want to be about us. And I think today, that is what everyone here is going to be taking home with you to our younger selves. If we knew then what we know now, we wouldn't try to be about ourselves. We would try to be about each other. And we would also realize that there is enough space at the top for all of us. All of us can progress together, and that indeed is the plight of the average Ghanaian and the plight of the average African. The fact that we all just want to be. I like the fact that you did that, because we all want to be the ones that go up when we can all go up still, and it would still be the same hand that went up. So I just want to say thank you. I know you had one last thought, and I broke through because I just had to say it, or else then I would forget. And I love that this was not a storytelling time per se, but it's just a time to sit. I think everybody here would say we could listen to Paul all day. There's a calming voice about you, and the laughter you have, you're like, are you joking right now, me? There's a humility about you, and we're all in awe of it. But I think what we see beyond Paul is the many other Paul Ninson standing behind you that you are breaking free the gate for. And I appreciate you for that so very much. I'm going to let... Now that we're trying to get off, there's a lot more people coming in, and it's kind of a little bit, I don't know what to say to you guys. I know you're late. So
Maybe,
now
maybe I'll give them a last one.
I know. Okay. All right. We got lucky. Paul will
Okay.
give us a last one. Let's
Okay.
go. I think we're definitely going into an hour, but we don't mind it. Let's do it.
Okay. So my younger self, one day, a friend of mine reached out to me. So again, I'll unravel a big hidden secret people do not know. So when I came to Accra, I was just new in Accra, and Rodney, who happens to be my long distance cousin, and he was launching a book.
Rodney Nkrumah.
Rodney Nkrumah.
Oh, honorable.
Yes.
Please, we greet you, sir.
So he was launching a book, and then I decided to go and photograph for him. So I reached out to him on the Facebook and said, "Hey, Rodney, I still remember has the email, the Facebook message, and say, hey, I want to come and photograph your event." And he's like, "Oh, Nana Aredamwa is responsible for it. He has his photographers already." And I said, don't worry. I'm not trying to charge you. I'll do it for free. And I've already had, so again, bad pun instance, I'd already seen the photographer who photographed for Nana Aredamwa. And in my head, I'm like, I can do better.
Wow.
In my head, like, and I just got a camera. So I went there and photographed. I was like a beast. I was photographing the whole event. And honestly, the photographer was famous, so popular. So people did not wanted him to photograph. They didn't know me. I was like, fine. But there's someone who I knew on Instagram, on Facebook, Kwabna Opokwajima.
Oh, okay, Kwabna. I think maybe we just crossed just like that, because all these people, I'm like, really?
Yes. So Kwabna and the wife loved pictures. It's like, yes, these people, I'll stay on them. So I photographed them, photographed all the events. Then I edited the whole pictures the same night. My laptop was crap. Then I sent the pictures to Rodney, and they say, hey, Rodney, best 100 pictures. And then Nana Ray posted all the pictures and they shared. And that was my beginning of getting through Accra, people hiring me for events. And then bad pointers and try to kick other photographers out of the way. And Nana Are hired me, and I became his photographer. And those monies he was paying me was what kept me going in a lot of ways. And other people. Then Kwabna Opokwajima started hiring me for his family event. Then that was how I met Brandon. So he hired me for events on campus. Then I met Brandon. So when I met Brandon, I had about 15 questions straight up lined for him, because when I was a photographer, I wasn't to be a photographer. I was constantly watching tutorials, which he was in. So I knew who he was. So when I met him, we talked, and then boom, he later on called me back. And when I met him, he was like, hey, what are you trying to do? And I said, I don't want to tell my stories. No, all I want to do was to, I'm trying to be a photographer. And then he asked, I told him about my scholarship. I already gotten scholarship. And again, somebody helped me defer my course for that year. So when I met Brandon, I had deferred, hoping that I'll get the money, but I had given up, honestly. So Brandon was like, if you get the money back, pay the scholarship back and pay for the rest, would you go? I said, of course, I will go. Then he paid $20,000, then helped me get here. And since I've been here, we've been best of friends. We worked together. So when I was in school, he said, when the first day we met in New York, he took me around and he said, school is great, but the street of New York is greater.
Yes.
And I was like, no humans of New York. I want to be a photographer, a photojournalist. Nah. Then I started school first semester, going through racism and everything, and the things they were teaching, I wanted something more. So I started assisting him, working with him on his project. Then that is where I learned so much behind the scenes, and we became best of friends. And he's taught me so much in terms of things which are not there. So when he did not know, people don't know this, but he did not know I was collecting books. I did not tell him in the beginning.
Wow.
Now obi do free Ghana aba abo do ha. Oba house oba party books akọ Ghana. Now
let me translate to our non-Chi speaking audience. He said, somebody brought you to America and you're going to say you just want to pack books. Really? Are you serious?
And when he found out, he became so supportive. Wow. I thought he was going to be mad at me because, in New York, the storage unit, I was paying $1,500 a month for storage units. I was buying books. Some of the books, the whole set of books, I bought them for maybe probably $6,000, $10,000. And those are the jobs I was doing under the table. Those are the jobs, and be able to use to buy all these books. So it's been a long road, and I'm grateful where I am. And okay, Brandon has a name. He's called Yhup Brandon. I gave him a name. He's Thursday born.
This will be the opportunity. We're just gonna slip in and say we've never had a non-African on To My Younger Self. But Brendan, if you happen to be watching, we're gonna extend a hand and say, come on and tell some stories about your travels in Africa and your travels in Ghana. We are actually adopting you. We're engrafting you to be a Ghanaian. I think we have already. So this is a formal invitation from To My Younger Self. I believe that my producers, please give me a thumbs up if you agree. I want to hear you. Elsie, Sedinam, Yidana, Emmanuel, our executive producer all the way in Geneva. Please give us a thumbs up. We want to invite you, Paul. I'm sorry. Well, Paul is here already. So Brandon, let us know. You will be the first and only, I dare say, only non-African who will be on the show. But you're welcome.
Yes, to tell you a secret, he's coming to Ghana. Yeah, he's coming to Ghana. That is, my God. Yes, so to tell you that big secret, you are the first to know. So he's coming to Ghana.
Hey, can we do a dance? Where is Minister Abby? Come on, let's do a dance.
He's coming to Ghana with me.
Oh,
he's coming to
Lord.
Yes, he's coming to Ghana. So it's possible.
You see all these thumbs up? Paul, look at that. These are all producers and they are all thumbs upping and they're saying yes. Our executive producer has a representative here and she just gave her thumbs up. So again, Brandon, we are not shy at all. When we want something on TMYS, we go and we get it. We're inviting you. Let us know. We'll make room for you at the top. We're not gatekeepers. Paul has just taught us a poignant thing. Do not be a gatekeeper. And so I believe we'll swing open the door and you can come on and tell us a few stories of your own. Cap it for us, Paul.
Thank you so much. I think I'm grateful. This is one of my best interviews. I think I prefer so I'm grateful to it's so much easy, when opportunities like this is given where, we can all share our stories and where we come from. And every time I fill the space, I want my life to be, I'm not perfect. I have a lot of dispositions and mistakes, but I'll try as much as possible to make my life inspiring to other people. And what I want to say is that I'm grateful for everybody who has supported me till today. Nana Redamwa, I will always mention your name. Nana Opokwajaman, Rodney, Nweki, all these people, Amo Opokwajaman, and Lord List, my family, everyone, that is how we build a community. That's what we do, and always help people, always will, because somebody helped me, Brandon helped me, and I'm grateful.
It's so amazing you're mentioning these names. Nana is a dear big brother of mine.
I love him. I love him so much.
He graced our show. And so thumbs up, Nana. I call him Nad. And when I'm very mad, I just type big brother in capital letters on WhatsApp, and then he knows I'm serious. Nweki, when I was in NAFTI, was really good friends with my roommate. And
she's amazing.
Stayed in our room many times. Thumbs up to you, Nweki. I miss you, so I'm definitely going to reach out to you. Amazing woman. All these people you're mentioning are just people that I kind of also grew up with. Nana came into my life maybe 5-6 years ago, and he has not left, you know, and Nana brought Elsie to me, who has been a pillar executive. She's an executive producer in her own right.
I can't wait to meet her. Maybe I have to buy a ticket to Canada.
Both, because I haven't met her either, but my God, that woman is a proper producer. And so we're building a village here, and I am so excited you're a part of it, and I'm excited to be a part of yours in a little small way. Guys, can we give a hand clap? Just put it up there. Just let Paul know how much TMYS loves him. Yirana says that one of his best interviews, and yes, he is right. He has been himself throughout, and so at home. We are grateful. Paul Yirana is also our top of the line online producers. He lives in Ghana. He's a documentarian. He makes, if you've seen the best documentaries in Ghana, Yirana did them. I guarantee you.
Then we need to talk.
And Farah Awindo, who was our lecturer at NAFTI, our documentary lecturer, I guarantee you all these people you need to hook up with. Yes, I see you, Kola. I see Kofi Chisa, who is coming on, Osofo Nocturnal Kofi Chisa, who is coming on next week. I see you all. I appreciate you. Paul,
thank you. God bless you, my sister. God bless you.
Amen. Why do all these men like to call me their sisters? Osafo, you see where you started. This is Kofi Chisa who started it. All these men calling me sister. Ade, me too. I am not a sister. I am a woman. I beg you. People, stop.
Oh man, I love this. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful.
I want to say a big thank you to Paul's executive assistant, Yin. Yin, wherever you are a blessing. This woman has been on top of everything, and I was so shocked to realize that you were Ghanaian, and then my heart leaped even more, and then I was even more shocked when I realized we may perhaps come from the same part of Ghana. Yin, you are gold. God bless you. Thank you for carrying his water, and may God always give you tomorrow, Yin. I am so thankful. I thank you. I thank you. Guys, I see all of you. I don't think they want to leave, but I think we have to leave. Paul woke up really early for us, and we want him to find his rest.
There will be more opportunities for all of us to meet.
There will be. Yes. Yamin Shrao, God bless you. This has been Zoe Baraka. We have gone 1 hour and 2 minutes. I think after Uncle Bendo Chimalo, Paul takes the cake with timing. We got him to talk for a whole entire hour. This is fantastic. Guys, it has been Zoe Baraka from the TMYS studio. Of course, we want to thank one of our executive producers, Moses Rivers from Red Sea Studios, who is always firmly standing behind us with whatever equipment we need, whatever resource we need. Moses Rivers, thank you so much. God bless you. May God always give you tomorrow also. And to all of our executive producers, everyone who came on the show today, Yadawasi, we thank you. Next week, we have a repeat performance by Osofo Nocturnal. I called him Osofo Nocturnal. I also call him Osofo Dictionary. Pastor Kofi Chisa will be here again, and he will be sharing some more amazing stories. The flip side of Pastor Kofi Chisa, I want to call it. So please make a date with us. And of course, we're going to have our other worship leader from Koza, Nigeria, a week after that. And then, of course, my sisters and I were going to be doing something called I Remember Mama. I think Paul will love this one, because it will be a show where we honor our mother, who is the person who literally provided content for this show. So yes,
thank you so much.
I'll see you all. We always give our guests the last say. So can you please give them a last say, and we're off.
Thank you guys so much for staying and listening to my story. I'm grateful, and it's such an honor to have this opportunity to talk to you. And there will be more opportunities on my return to Ghana. I'm coming back to Ghana very soon, and I'm also always available. Anybody who want to reach out in any way that want to contribute to. God bless you, and I'm always here.
All right, guys. From Paul and I in New York, we say have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember to not be a gatekeeper. Open wide the two-leafed gates and let people in. Okay. All
Yep.
right. We love you. Have a
Um,
wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Bye-bye.
bye. Bye.